I'm Rob.
And I'm Matt.
And this is Affected, the Manor, virtual reality reviewed by
Barefoot Gaming.
You like horror games?
No!
Well, tough, because you had to play one anyway. Affected, the Manor is a VR horror game.
Yeah.
Now, this is available on the HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift. It's doesn't show Windows Mixed Reality, but I mean, usually they work on it, and PlayStation VR, of course. What's the gist, Matthew?
You are a person walking through a manor trying to get to the end, and it's scary.
There is no interaction in this, aside from looking around. You can choose when to walk, and that's kind of it. Now, before you start the game, it lets you choose if you want to walk depending on where your head is looking or where your flashlight or your controller. But aside from that, it's just, can you get to the end? Right,
and you use the trigger to move forward. So wherever your flashlight's going, you hold the trigger, it moves you in that direction.
Yep, and it warns you right off the bat. Lots of jump scares. So it uses jump scares, but it also uses the scary atmosphere.
Right.
The game, right when it first starts, diverges into two paths. And
after that, each path has its own type of ending. There's 4 different endings to the game itself. But I would say once you go on that path, it kind of feels like you're on rails until the end. Like, yes, you can choose to go forward or backward, but there's only specific doors that you can go through.
Yes.
And it kind of doesn't let you interact with anything or move around where it doesn't want you to move.
So it's walking through a haunted house in virtual reality. That's all it is. Not allowed to touch anything, just walk. So aside from that, can we review this thing? Is there more to talk about?
I don't think so, because you can't really control your flashlight. It turns off when it wants to. It turns on when it wants to.
Yep.
The house is much bigger inside than it looks outside.
Very TARDIS-y,
Yes.
in fact. So the game is priced at, I think, $8.79, $8.99 Canadian.
$8.79.
So that'll work out to $6-something US, I'm assuming. We don't always get to see the pricing of the US. And let's score this. How many spinning baby heads out of 5 would you give this? Pros, cons? Let me know, Matthew.
I'd probably give the game about a 2.5 out of 5. The pros, it looks really nice, especially the way that they do the flashlight, like the way the shadows work and everything like that. It really lights up and it gives you a really nice atmosphere to the game itself. I like the way that they do the music and the way they change it as you're going from scene to scene. You'll get some high pitches, some low pitches, and the way that they kind of bring out the jump scare, I would say, like they slowly build up to it at some points. That's really nice. I don't like the fact that you're on rails and you can't interact with anything. It kind of takes away a bit from it, because if you're walking through something, you only have that one direction to go, and as soon as it kind of starts building up towards a jump scare, you can kind of feel it happening, especially when the music all of a sudden stops. If you're familiar with horror games, you kind of know what's coming.
So the only thing I'm gonna mention to your section here is when Matthew says on rails, it is like you can only go in a certain path, but you're not stuck specifically on a rail.
You can move side to side and stuff like that.
You can go wherever you want within a room, but it's still always going to choose where you're going to get to go. Because if one door is unlocked and all the rest are locked, well, I mean, you can't open doors. You only go through open doors, so it chooses where you go. I actually like this game, I think, a little bit more than Matthew. I loved the graphics. I thought the graphics were very well done. It's not a game, this is an experience. That's how I would describe this. And I mean, combined, we put in 0.6 hours to go through twice. So took the left door, took the right door. We didn't go for the alternate endings, but I mean, we have a pretty good gist of what we're going to experience. So you're not getting a lot of gameplay or experience play with this. But I think what you get is really, really quality. And horror isn't like anything else in VR. You know, there's a lot of stuff that people throw into VR that developers put in that works okay. Horror works really, really well. The fact that everything is closed off and that the environment and atmosphere is so like oppressive around you, I just think that works really well. And it's not going to scare everyone. It's a little bit cheesy. This is the sort of thing that I would have available so that when a friend comes over and they're like, "Do you have anything scary?" You don't have to know anything about VR aside from how to pull a trigger.
Right, and it takes about 15 minutes to go through it, so it's not even a long experience. It's just send them in 15 minutes and they can come out and it can be fun.
Yeah. Now, the only negatives that I'm going to give this at all are the fact that the paths are different, but they are kind of similar. Like you'll see a lot of the same assets being used. They'll even use like some of the same jump scares, for example. So I wish there was more of that. However, this is part 1 of 3 according to the Steam page. So there are 2 more parts that are going to be coming out. I assume they're going to be charging an extra $8 or $6 per. But I think it's worth it. I would highly recommend this. I would give this a 4 out of 5 if you like horror experiences. You're not going to get a long one, but you're going to get something that you'll have in your arsenal for your friends that come over and go, what is this VR? And you go, I've got something for you. So that's it. 4 out of 5. Matthew's got a 2 out of 5. We're done.
2.5.
2.5. Thank you. That's the score. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, comment. We love to hear from you.
Yes.
We are out of here. Talk to you again real soon. See ya.